Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening from the University of Chicago. My name is Nick Siemens. I'm the Executive Director and Associate Dean of Students at the university uh, here at the Office of International Affairs. I'm joined this morning by two of my colleagues, both of whom are advisors from the Office of International Affairs to students in the college. So if you have an admitted student coming to the university, beginning their undergraduate career at the University of Chicago, then they likely will interact with either Samuel or Angelica over the course of their 4 years at the University of Chicago.
Thank you, Nick, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining, or good afternoon, good evening. Hello. Thank you for joining us today on this OI immigration orientation session from whatever part of the world that you're joining. We know that some of you are joining from and time zones that are, may not be convenient. You'd rather be sleeping at this time, but you made the effort. We really, really appreciate it. We're glad to have you here today. As Nick mentioned, my name is Bewoli Samuel Aqua. I am one of the advisors to the college. In the next few slides, we will be taking you through a few important informations that we would like to convey to you. We will hope that through today's presentation, you'll be able to familiarize yourself with OIA services, as well as the advice and support that we provide to our international student population here at UChicago. We also hope to equip you with some important immigration information. Then we will wrap things up with some final reminders and a Q&A session at the end where you can, we'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So OIA stands for the Office of International Affairs. We are here to provide guidance and on immigration regulations and to connect our international students with resources. We always tell our students throughout their stay here at the university that we do understand that they may have friends at other schools who may have experience and information. And also today, the internet is here. ChatGPT is available. Information is readily available, and accessible online. But we always ask that they check with us, with OIA, before they take any action that may jeopardize their immigration record. And the reason being that every student's situation is different. There's not one single immigration guidelines found online that applies indifferently to everyone. When you reach out to our office, your specific advisor will be able to check your immigration record, right, and apply the regulation, curate their guidance to your specific situation. So please reach out to us. Even if you've found information online, reach out to us just to confirm before you take any action. Thank you, Angelica. So what is OIA? We are a central office here at the University of Chicago, and we typically provide support to international students in F and J status, which are the two immigration sponsorship provided by the University of Chicago. We also provide support to international faculty, staff, postdoc, and other academics who are sponsored in other visa categories like the H, the J, the TN, the O category, or green card, or LPR. As I mentioned earlier, we are here to help you navigate U.S. immigration regulations. We understand that U.S. immigration regulations can be complex and even overwhelming at times. So reach out to us if you have any questions. We are here to help. And we do that by providing advising services, and supportive programming to all of our international students here at the university who are sponsored by UChicago. Through appointments are available online, drop-in advising sessions, virtual workshops, pop-up events like travel signature events that we organize throughout the academic year, where students can just stop by, bring their I-20 or their DS 2019, and we can give them an updated travel signature, no hassle. During those events, you can also ask us any questions related to your immigration status. We are more than happy to answer those questions at those events. We love those face-to-face interaction with our students. You're not just a name or an email in our inboxes. We like to see you sometimes just even get updates on how things are going in the classroom. So as I mentioned earlier, we're here to help and we're always happy to see you. We also provide collaborative programs with other offices like the Career Advancement Office. Angelica and I work closely with Career Advancement every academic year to provide, for example, CPT work authorization workshops throughout all the 3/4 of the academic year. During those workshops, students can learn about the CPT eligibility requirements, the application process, so that they are ready for when they are eligible for an off-campus internship. All international students at UChicago are assigned an OIA advisor based on their school or division. Like, for example, the college would have its own advisor or advisors. Booth's Business School, for example, would have their own advisors. We always ask that you reach out directly to your assigned advisor, as every unit or every division may have some specific requirements that may slightly differ from another division. Your advisor would be the best person equipped to provide you guidance. How do I know who my advisor is? You may be asking right now. One giveaway would be the name of the person or the advisor who issued your I-20 or DS 2019. Typically, or most likely, will be your advisor or your OI advisor. But students will receive a welcome message from their OI advisor at the start of the autumn quarter. So if you have any questions, reach out to your advisor directly. The college has 2 advisors because you wonderful undergraduates are such a massive population, and we want to make sure that you get the dedicated attention that you deserve in order to succeed. I am one of the advisors, Beoli Samuel Aqua. You can reach me by email. My email is gacquuah@uchicago.edu. We have QQS or quick question advising sessions available via Zoom. QQAs are a drop-in session hour where our international students can stop by, click on the Zoom link, enter the waiting room, no appointment needed. Quick questions may be answered within 5 to 10 minutes maximum. My quick question advising sessions are scheduled on Mondays and Wednesdays, 1:15 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. If you or your student has a question that may need more time, appointments are available. They can simply book an appointment with me, and we will be able to chat at length about any question that they may have related to their immigration status. My wonderful colleague Angelica Cazares also has a similar. Her email is angelica@uchicago.edu. Angelica also offers QQAs on Mondays, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., Tuesdays, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Again, no appointments needed. there will be a waiting room. There might be a wait. So if your student enters the waiting room, please don't leave immediately. We're not ignoring you. Typically, we accept or admit students based on their order of arrival. Know that sometimes students, will send me an email after QQ and tell me that, oh, they entered the waiting room and they were not admitted. Not ignoring you. We typically also post messages to let you know or the students know that we are admitting students based on their order of arrival. So just be slightly patient. We do appreciate your patience, and we make sure that everyone who enters the waiting room before the end of the QQA is seen and their concerns are taken care of. So I hope that the overwhelming majority of all students have now received their I-20s or DS 2019s. Angelica and I have been working relentlessly throughout the summer to make sure that documents are issued in a timely manner to allow you enough runway to navigate the visa acquisition process. Now, we hope that you have already completed the DS 160, which is the visa application form. If you haven't already, it's not too late, but time is of the essence. Simply make sure that you followed instructions carefully when preparing for your visa interview. Fill out the DS 160 carefully. Make sure you answer all the questions. Prepare and practice to answer questions. For example, like, why do you want to study at U Chicago? Why specifically the program you've been admitted to? Consistency is key in immigration, right? Make sure you have all your financial documents and make sure you prepare answers, to questions. Always good to rehearse your visa interview, run these questions through your mind and try to have answers to questions that the consular officer may ask you so that you are prepared when that time comes. Visa interviews last between 90 seconds and 3 minutes, so you don't have a lot of time to answer this question or, make that impression. Again, rehearsal, practice, going in prepared is very important. You may be asked about what you intend to study, your plans after graduation, and ties to your home country. Ties to your home country is one of the most important things during your visa interview. The consular officer will be trying to see, because the F1 or J1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. The visa applicant must show strong tie to their home countries, show that they have every intention to return to their home countries after they have completed their program here at the University of Chicago. So make sure that when you are answering your questions, you communicate that information clearly and make a strong case. Keep your answers simple. Offer only the information that's been requested. Do not overshare. We know that during that time, nerves can easily take over. That's normal. That's fine. But just try to keep it as simple and concise as possible. Do not talk about your plans to launch a business or start a startup here in the US. The focus simply on your studies. Again, the F1 or J1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. It is an academic visa. You may have goals and aspirations, but make sure that your answers are centered around your studies, the visa for which you are applying for. For your interview, don't forget to print your I-20. Make sure it is signed, and also make sure that you have all your required visa documentation when you attend your appointment at the embassy or consulate. And if we move on to the next slide, So after your visa interview, and we assume that everything went well, your interview was successful, you've received your F1 or J1 visa. Now, what does the timeline look like? Your DS 2019 or your I-20, if you take a look, will have your program start date. Program start date for the upcoming academic year is September 26th. This means that you can enter the country as early as 30 days before that program start date by law. So August 22nd would be the earliest date that you can enter the country based on this year's program start date. The latest arrival date will be the date of classes. We don't recommend trying to enter the country after classes have begun. We also understand that things don't necessarily or always go according to plan. So if for any reason, you experience any delays that would prevent you from being here in the US by the start of classes, meaning September 28 at the latest, make sure that you communicate this with your academic program. Reach out to OIA, reach out to your OIA advisor, either Angelica or I, and we will be able to help you navigate that. And again, one thing I just circle back to the workload. One thing I forgot to touch on is I advise all students whose last names are between A and L, and my wonderful colleague Angelica advises students whose last names start with letters between M and Z. So that's how you know who your advisor is between Angelica and I. And again, at the start of the autumn quarter, we will send you an email to introduce ourselves and again provide all our newly admitted international students with that information. So, in summary, regarding the timeline, August 2nd, 2026 is the earliest arrival date per law, and September 28, 2026 would be the latest recommended date to enter the country. So, what to expect now that you have made all your travel plans, you have booked your flight, you have all your travel documents. What to expect upon arrival? You are required to present a valid passport, a valid F1 or J1 visa, which is that sticker or stamp inside your passport, the one you received at the embassy when you went for your visa appointment. Make sure that you keep all your important immigration documents with you. Make sure you print, sign, and carry your electronic I-20 or DS 2019 with you. And this must be printed. You are required to show a hard copy of the document. Simply showing the document on your phone, we know that we send you electronic copies, but simply showing it on the phone is not valid. You need to print it and have a signed copy with you. We also recommend that you print and carry your admission letter, financial documentation, and proof of your I-901 SEVIS payment fee. You will be asked the purpose of your visit. Be honest and respectful in your answers. Do not provide more information than required. Again, please do not overshare. And the QR code on the right-hand side at the bottom of the page will take you to the OIA webpage where you will find additional information about U.S. custom declarations. So keep in mind that in addition to providing immigration documents to U.S. officials, when you enter the country, you may need to inform U.S. custom officials about certain items you may be carrying in the U.S. in your luggage, right? It is unlawful to bring some items into the U.S., including certain food, or produce items. And the QR code on our website has detailed information regarding those prohibited items. There is a link to the CBP, U.S. Customs and Border Protection website with detailed information. We highly encourage you to review that our webpage and also review the CBP website to familiarize yourself with those rules and regulation, including the food items that may not be admissible into the U.S. So once you have arrived in the US, we ask that you fill out and submit your check-in form. Check-in form, the check-in form is your getaway to all things F1 and J1. Again, the QR code on the screen will take you to the OIA webpage where you can find important information about the check-in process. The check-in is important because it allows us to register your F1 or J1 record, which allows you in return to have access to all the benefits associated with your status. Failure to register your record within 30 days of the program start date may or will result in the determination of your status, and we don't want you to have to go through that and have to navigate additional challenges when classes have already begun. So make sure that you or remind your student to submit that check-in form within 5 days of their arrival in Chicago. Please complete this step to avoid disruption to your status. Reminders will be sent by OIA, but please don't wait for us to send reminders before you submit your check-in form. We also know that once you arrive, you will be invited to attend a lot of fun orientation events, and it's easily to get distracted. So please mark your calendar, remind yourself or remind your student of this important step. The check-in process requires the F1 student to pay the CVIS fee and update their US address through their UChicago portal, which is called my.uchicago.edu. They also need to retrieve their I-94 arrival record. Make sure you allow 2 to 3 days after arrival to log into the CBP website to retrieve your I-94. Now, the I-94 is proof of your legal admission to the US. A sample of the I-94 is what you see currently on the right-hand side of the slide. It will show your name, your class of admission. Make sure that you review all the information and make sure that it is correct. If you notice any discrepancies, reach out directly to your OIA advisor so we can provide you instruction on how to have that corrected so we can register your record. And on that note, I will pass the baton to Angelica to walk you through the next slides.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, so now we'll talk about the US and foreign address requirements. As Sam mentioned, that you are required to update your address in the my.uchicago.edu portal that you have once you're on campus. And this needs to be done not only for your check-in, but while you're here in the US for your entire stay while we are the sponsors of your record. Visa regulations do require that you maintain both a US and a foreign address. You can update it whenever you move out of the dorm or during summer. You should be updating that, and you can also use this QR code to look at those requirements. Always find those instructions on our website, or if you have questions, as Sam has mentioned, you can always reach out to us at OIA, and either Sam or I, whichever your specific advisor is, to check on any thing that you may have a question about. So again, if you move out of the dorm, have a new dorm room, even if you're in the same building, whatever the case may be, whenever you move, you do need to update your US address in my.uchicago.edu. Now I'll touch on employment for F1 and J1 students. International students on visas are required to maintain their visa status, and part of that is working only when permitted. So there are a couple of instances where you want to just make sure that you have the proper work authorization if you need it. So on-campus employment is permitted, but it is limited. Off-campus employment is prohibited without authorization. This includes unpaid opportunities, unpaid, even if you think, oh, it's unpaid, maybe it's volunteer work, just reach out to us. If it's related to your study, it will require authorization. Only recreational and avocational volunteering is permitted without authorization. So a good example we like to use is, if you're doing computer engineering, volunteering at an animal shelter, that's purely recreational volunteering, for example, if you're just caring for animals. Please check in with Sam or I if you have questions before starting, because unlawful employment is a status violation, and we want to make sure that you don't have to go through the stress of that. So just check in with us before starting. On-campus employment is permitted, but it's limited when you're in classes. So F1 visa holders are permitted to work on campus up to their program end date that's on the I-20, but on-campus work cannot happen beyond that date. As for time limitations, it's no more than 20 hours per week during the academic term. So while you're in class, but you can work up to full time, which is more than 20 hours per week during academic breaks when classes are not in session. So that includes summer, winter break, spring break. On-campus jobs are found directly with departments or online. Even just Googling UChicago on-campus employment will take you to the website that UChicago has for finding on-campus jobs. You should not work beyond the parameters that we just outlined. It may result in visa status violation. So please make sure that you keep this in mind. If you need a refresher, it's always on our website, or feel free to reach out to us. If you are not sure if the job that you found is truly considered on campus, feel free to ask us and we'd be happy to look over. You can send us a screenshot of the job listing, the requirements that they ask of the department or the company potentially who is sponsoring this, or professor, and you can send it to us and we can let you know if it's truly on campus or not. As for off-campus employment, whether they're paid or unpaid, they do require prior authorization. Please do not work without authorization. So please keep in mind that authorization is required for remote positions where either you or the company is present in the US. This includes paid or unpaid positions. Again, unless you're volunteering recreationally, any paid or unpaid position will require work authorization. F&J students are not eligible for work authorization in the first academic year. You're only allowed to do on-campus work during your first academic year. Once you have completed your first academic year, so the summer after your first spring quarter, you will be eligible to request work authorization for a position, for an off-campus position. Again, unlawful employment, so that means working without authorization is highly scrutinized, and violations may result in the termination of your visa status, and they could have long-term negative consequences if you're applying for a different visa in the future, or with the termination, trying to go through the F1 process again, having to depart the country, return. It could be costly, timely, so please make sure that you're reaching out to us before starting an off-campus employment to make sure that everything is in line. A part of maintaining your F1 or J1 status involves enrollment requirements. So you are required to be enrolled full-time during the academic year. An academic year at the University of Chicago means autumn, winter, and spring quarters. At least 3 classes per quarter, meaning 300 or more units, are required in order to maintain full-time status. And our office is required to report enrollment each quarter. So if at any point you are under-enrolled, we will send you a reminder at the beginning of the quarter to make sure that you, prior to the ad drop date, so please make sure that you're keeping an eye on your email, working with your academic advisor, and also with us if there are any other situations that are preventing you from being enrolled full time. Also keep us in the loop if you plan to end before the program end date that is listed on the I-20, or if a program extension is needed listed beyond the date on the I-20. Please reach out to us to ask questions on what your next steps may be based off of your personal situation. We'd also like to remind you to beware of scams. Unfortunately, international students are often the target of elaborate scams involving phone calls, emails, other channels trying to convince you that you're in trouble, that you have to pay a fee or a fine in order to avoid further trouble. If a scammer calls, hang up, block the number. Feel free to reach out to us if someone is telling you your status is in trouble and you need to pay this amount of money. Reach out to us. We can always verify your status. And we have more scam information. You can reach out to us to see, hey, I got this text message. I got this email. Is this a scam? More often than not, it's probably going to be a scam. The government won't call you. They will send you paper in the mail more often than not. So if you get a call and it looks like it's a government number, you can always reach out to us if it's fishy information trying to get you to confirm personal information when they called you. Just hang up, reach out to us, and we can get it figured out together. Some common scams on the side you can see immigration scams. Again, it'll look like a US government agency. Maybe their caller is threatening to that you're going to be deported or arrested if you won't pay a fine. Maybe payment upfront for a job opportunity, tax scams, SSN scams, maybe government agents from your home country, rental scams, again, credit score scams. So if anything feels wrong, if anything feels fishy, even if maybe it is real, it does not hurt to reach out to us to just confirm if it's a scam or not, to just protect yourself and your information as well as your money. So touching on SSNs, an SSN stands for a social security number. This is a tax identification number that tracks employee salary in a payroll system. It does not equate to employment authorization, so make sure that you still have work authorization for those off-campus opportunities that we discussed. Most F and J1 students will not be eligible for an SSN until they're eligible for to do so through employment, so via on-campus or off-campus. Once they have an on or off-campus position, then able to apply to the Social Security Administration for an SSN. If you have ever been issued an SSN before, you do not need to apply for a new one. Once it's issued, it's yours for life. But touching back to that scam piece, keep your SSN information safe. If they're asking you for your full SSN number, that's not okay. You don't want to give that. Uh, if they're asking you to confirm certain numbers, but they called you, just be careful because they could try to steal your SSN number, and we don't want that to happen. So just keep your information safe, keep your card safe. More often than not, you can memorize your number and then keep the card in a safe space with maybe all of your other immigration documents that you should keep throughout your time here for your records. Touching on U.S. tax responsibility. So F1 and J1 students who were present in the U.S. during any portion of the calendar year are required to file tax forms with the Internal Revenue Service, which is the IRS, even if you did not work in the U.S. or gain income in the U.S. or receive a scholarship during that past calendar year. There is a specific form that F1 and J1 students will need to file. So please make sure that you look out for information that we send out in our newsletters. Ask us around when you start seeing things about taxes. It's everywhere. But we will provide us and the Bursar's office or payroll will provide further guidance each winter quarter to as we go into the tax filing season, outlining the assistance that is provided, workshops, resources, as well as information for the Sprintax tax preparation software that we provide annually that helps students complete the tax filing process. This includes if they don't have to file taxes for income, but the tax form needed for your presence in the US. So just keep a lookout for that in the winter quarter. Ask us questions if you have any throughout this process. All right. I know it's been a lot of information, so some important reminders. Please keep immigration documents safe. You should maintain both physical and electronic copies. So if you, for example, your SSN card, take a picture of it, keep it safe. Keep your electronic copies safe in a protected file. All of the documents that you receive throughout your time here, make sure that you keep them in a safe place. Our website and our newsletters have dedicated information for F4J students with information about enrollment, arrival, travel restrictions, immigration updates, and more. So please make sure to keep an eye on monthly newsletters. Look on our website for information. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to Sam or I via email, our quick question advising, appointments, whatever is most helpful. Beware of scams. Again, those telephone calls showing that it's from a government agency. If it's starting to sound suspicious, just hang up. Again, government officials will not call you. And feel free to reach out to us if it does happen. Also learn more about campus resources. There are numerous offices dedicated to supporting students at UChicago who are here in person or abroad and remote. So if you are unsure, maybe you could try asking us or your academic advisor. Other offices that you have come in contact with for maybe they know about a different resource that they can't provide you, but know who can. So reach out, talk to people, and learn more about the resources on campus. We remain open and available virtually. Our office does not close in the summer or anything, so please feel free to reach out to us. You can connect with us via our website. We also have Facebook and Instagram. We have, as I mentioned, the monthly newsletter that is sent to your UChicago email address with helpful information, as well as updates, resources, and opportunities, things happening on campus. I know you will likely get inundated with emails, but just take a moment, maybe one day of the week to just look through your newsletters to see what opportunities there are. You might find something interesting, and then keep a lookout for our monthly newsletter as well. Be sure to subscribe to the International House newsletter as well. They also offer a lot of programs and opportunities. You can go to ihouse.uchicago.edu/about to learn more about that. Again, contact us if you have any questions or concerns. As Sam mentioned, that your personal situation is different from your friends here at UChicago or your friends at another university. There are nuances there, so please reach out to us with those questions, concerns, planning ahead in the future, whatever that may be. Feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help. Thank you. And now we'll go into questions if there are any questions.
Looks like we have a few questions. The first is, does an unpaid internship count as employment? Is it fine if in the statement signed there is specification that this internship is not employment? And I will just answer this and also the second. Internships are considered to be employment opportunities, whether they are paid or unpaid. In the United States at this moment, there is incredible scrutiny on employment, specifically employment, that is from or conducted by, anyone currently on a visa. And I think if something looks like it's employment, if it's something that, would be added to LinkedIn or other social media, it's important that, your students actually reach out to OIA well in advance of considering starting any one of those types of opportunities. Unpaid opportunities, unpaid internships still require CPT authorization if you're in the United States on an F1 visa, or academic training if you're in the United States on a J1 visa. So it is important to think about internships still as vocational opportunities that could be construed as employment by the US government. So we want to make sure that your students have the related authorization to ensure that they do not inadvertently, run afoul of the US government regulations specific to both of those questions. Next question. If I do online tutoring as a tutor, does it count to my tax responsibilities in the United States? If you're working online, even if let's just roll back and say, if you're physically in the United States on a visa, even if you're tutoring online individuals who are not in the United States, that could not only be considered a tax liability, but also employment, and you should not actually pursue that activity unless you're eligible for the related employment authorization. Good questions. Any other questions while we're here? And I have more reliable internet. Well, I want to thank Sam and Angelica, for picking up where I left off, but also for just presenting, a large, amount of information. It is a lot, and we encourage you to reach out if you have further questions. Please encourage your students to reach out to either Sam or Angelica if they have questions, and we'll go from there. There is a follow-up question on the internship. If you cannot get authorization the first year, does that mean an internship is not feasible in the first year? And that is correct. For international students on F or J visas, they are not eligible for an off-campus internship opportunity until the summer after or following their first academic year in the program. Good question.
Just to touch on that, because I know there's some confusion sometimes, you cannot begin working, but you can absolutely start applying for internships that start in the summer after your first academic year.
All right. I don't think we have any further questions, but please reach out if there are further questions, and we will go from there. But thank you all for joining us this morning, and we wish you a good remainder of the day. Thank you. Bye-bye.